Hello everybody, you're looking at the very first AO Finance video report or Alpha and Omega video report. Let me know what you guys think. Keep those emails coming in, and I appreciate all the comments and everything that's been sent. So we're going to start off real quickly. This is the NASDAQ 100. We're looking at the daily, so we're going to cut right to the chase. As we can see there, that the NASDAQ is still in the NASDAQ 100. Keep that in mind. It's the 100 largest companies. It's QQQQ if you want to trade it. And the NASDAQ has been in a pretty strong downtrend, and it looks like it wants to break out. The volume is starting to come in. As you can see, the down volume is still somewhat heavy, but there is a lot more up volume. It looks somewhat similar to this little area here, but as we can all see, the volume was significantly lighter. I'm just going to point something out right here, draw a line right here. As you can see, the volume on average was a little lighter than it is now. Now it's a little bit heavier. It's about as heavy as the down days. The money flow has been pretty nice. It's much better than it was here. And the one thing that I want to point out is the averages crossed over here. The 10 and the 20 crossed. It also crossed here. And things are starting to look good, and we see a little bit of positive divergence here on the MACD. The histogram, that's not too great, because as you can see, the histogram is a little bit lower than it is here. The MACD histogram, which is these little bars, they're like an indicator for the MACD indicator, and when it goes higher, it shows, for example here, you see how this one went a little bit higher and then eventually crossed over. It's the same thing. So that's not showing too much, but the MACD is a little bit higher than it was last time, as we can see right here. There we go, it's right around there. We can see, let me make it a little thinner. Now we can't see it. As you can see, it barely crossed over, so it's a little bit higher. The RSI is a little bit lower, so even though we're trading slightly higher than before, the indicators really aren't showing any kind of tremendous strength, but there is a little bit of volume here, so there is a ray of hope. That's the NASDAQ 100. So it's starting to look good, and it's kind of hard to say what may happen because a lot of the variables, but it is showing a little bit of strength here, so that's good. If you want to be aggressive, you can do a little bit of shorting here, but personally, unlike last time that I mentioned to short here, I'm not going to go out and make that call here because it does look like it's starting to gain a little bit of strength. Now, looking at the Dow, if you want to trade the Dow, you can do DIA, which is the Dow Diamond. And similar situation here, except there are some differences. One, the downtrend is broken. Yes, the downtrend is broken on the Dow. Wasn't on heavy volume, but again, just like the NASDAQ, the accumulation is starting to come in. It's there. It's not as great a volume as the NASDAQ showing on the accumulation, but it's there. And the break, as we can see, it is over here. The next resistance would be right around here. Resistance would be the next level to break, or that's going to, somewhat stop it. And as we can see here, similar as the other one, a little bit of negative divergence, at least on a very short term. On the MACD, however, the Dow is a little bit higher in the MACD, so it is showing a lot more strength. The MACD histogram is a little bit weaker, but we'll see for now. For now, there's also an inverse head and shoulders pattern. This is on the daily, and left shoulder, right shoulder, head, and it is showing a little bit more strength compared to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ also has an inverse head and shoulder. I didn't show that. Here we go, left shoulder, right shoulder, and the head, and it is a little bit higher, so it is showing a little bit of strength. The neckline would be right around this area, just a rough estimate. And the Dow looks pretty good. If you want to be aggressive, you can definitely start going long here. If you get a nice little pop, I would definitely take it, because it is a little bit of a shot here. And the next resistance level is once you break that, you're looking at right around 10.6. Maybe a quick pop there, and that should be nice. We're going to go to the dollar. The dollar, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that it was looking a little bit weaker. In the long term, it still looked pretty decent. When we go to the weekly charts, I'll show that. The dollar has pulled back to around the area that I mentioned, which was right the low $80 area, and I did mention 82. We're right there. Now we're starting to see a little bit of positive divergence on the full stochastics. Major support is 82. We're starting to see the doji candles, which shows a battle, and after a nice little downtrend, you start seeing the dojis. That means that there is a really big battle. As we can see, as I've outlined here, the MACD histogram looks like it wants to, it's showing, not look like, it's showing some positive divergence. The RSI also, it's got up pretty dramatically. That's nice. And we're looking here that the MACD wants to cross over. The only negative that I see here, I mean, it's still on the downtrend, which is the negative. It's still on the downtrend. This little line right here. It's still showing that once we break that, I mean, it's probably going to keep going higher. It breaks this 84-ish level. You're looking at 85, 86. I know 2 points on something that's 80 doesn't seem like a lot, but when it comes to currencies, a dollar move is pretty decent size. And the dollar's starting to look pretty strong. I'm going to go back. You know what? Let me go back to the. This is the weekly on the dollar. The dollar, as I mentioned a while ago, it formed a nice little cup and handle. Here's a cup. Here's a handle that's forming. Unfortunately, we can't really see volume on this. Now, the MACD cross 50. That's not a good sign for the longer term. Negative crossover on the MACD. MACD histogram not really showing anything. However, the 50-day coincidentally is right around the 82 area, which I mentioned that I would go before, and you can see that's resistance right around here, and right around here. When it crossed over, didn't pull back, didn't close on the weekly, so 82 is pretty strong. This is a little bit, this doesn't look so great, but you know, maybe within the next couple of weeks it might turn around. But it's still holding strong, and this is the US dollar. Just so you can see what it looks like on the weekly. It's holding strong, but the daily is confirming that it's starting to turn around, so that's a good sign. Let's go to gold.